Hello team, do you know that you can actually make a lot of money without using the synamay to mold your fascinator? Here you can see this thick wording. This wording is for tailors. Okay, this fabric is for tailors, so tailors use the wording. That's what we're going to use to be molding. Now this is my mold. This is my mold. Okay, usually we are always supposed to wrap our mold with either nylon or foil. Okay, nylon, plain nylon, maybe the transparent one or this black one. Okay, because if you don't cover it and oil the nylon, it will stick to your material after stiffening. So the next thing for us to do is to actually try to cover our mold with the nylon. Okay, mold comes in different shapes and sizes. Okay, and you can actually mold any fascinator in any shape of your choice. All right, so I'm using this button shape. Is a regular one that is mostly used. Okay, so I've tried to cover it with the black nylon. Okay, the next thing we have to do is to look for any oil. It could be Wivon oil. Here I'm using the olive oil. It could be Vaseline, any oily stuff, liquid, you can use it. You see it's oily. This is olive oil. Make sure that you rub it over all the surface of your mold. Now, why we do this is because after molding, we want to be able to remove the wording easily from the mold. Now, how do you mold the wording that it will not be difficult for you? The first thing you will do is to soak it with water. You see how wet it is? Okay, you soak it with water. Once you soak it with water, the stiffener will penetrate. So you put a little stiffener in the water. You can see what I'm doing. So it's wet. Now, because it's wet, it can easily be stretched. Okay, so when molding, we can easily stretch it. It will not be difficult to stretch. Okay, you can see that. Okay, and then you know that when you want to cut, you cut the one that would cover your mold properly. Okay, now when molding, the technique is side by side. Okay, if you do on the right side as I'm doing now, we're going to do on the left side next, opposite, so that you can pull it in order for it to be firm. Okay, if you don't do it side by side, it will not be firm because you will not have the opportunity to actually pull it very well. Do you understand? Okay, so you are doing the opposite side. Okay, so this time now you are supposed to pull it very well. Pull it so that it will be firm. Okay, because when you pull it, it makes your work better. Like it will dry quickly and it will be very strong. It won't be soft. Okay, so you see I'm doing the other part. Okay, so when I finish this part, I'm going to do the opposite part. This part now, you're supposed to pull it more. Make sure you pull it with a little bit of strength. Okay, so that it stays in place. You know what we are using to hold it down? It's called thumb tag. You can always find them in a craft shop or in a bookstore. Okay, a craft shop or in a bookstore, you'll find these beautiful color thumb tags, because you'll be needing them and you're going to be working with them. Okay, you notice that as I was molding, I was doing opposite. So after we have finished the 4 side, we are doing the 4 corners. Okay, it has to be opposite. The reason, because we want it to be very firm. As you're holding it, you make sure you hold it tight. You don't loosen your grip, okay? Okay, so you go to the other corner, all right? And then you pull. And then you go to the other corner. You make sure you check everything and be sure that it's smoothing out, okay? And then use your hammer or any hard stuff to hit it in so that it will go in a little more. So now we have our molded button base fascinator. Now what we use is stiffener. Okay, the top bond that we use for binding book, you can see this one now is for craft too. It's called PVA. Okay, you can always see it also in a bookstore. You can replace stiffener. Okay, it's still, because it will still make the work hard. Okay, it will still make your molded base hard. PVA. Okay, if you go to a craft shop, you will see it. So you see how I'm applying it. Remember that the fascinator is wet already. Okay, so I'm just applying more of the stiffener to the surface so that it gets really hard. Okay, so that it doesn't collapse in the future. Okay, can you see? So now we've molded our fascinator base with a wording. Okay, so we're going to put it under the sun to dry, or you can use your hair dryer to dry it. So this is another shape, just a quick one. Okay, so it's the same process. You wet your wording so that it can stretch. When you're molding, you mold opposite direction. So if you mold on the right, directly opposite, you go to the left. And that is how we mold, so that we can actually pull it really hard and then it's firm. Can you see? It's the same process. So regardless of the kind of shape of mold you have, this technique can help you to mold effectively with any shape. So you see that I've completed this too. And then we're going to still apply our stiffener. Okay. So you use your hand to smoothen it to be sure that it penetrates. So sometimes people use the brush. Okay. I like to use my hand. I like to use my hand. Okay. Why? Because the brush would take a lot, like it takes a lot of synamay into the, I mean a lot of glue, that's the stiffener, so it's wasted. But when you use your hand, you at least your hand will feel where it's not yet touched. Okay, so if you don't want to use your hand, you can also use the paintbrush to apply your stiffener. Okay, so I've used my hand to successfully apply it. Can you see the two? So we're going to put it under the sun to dry. Okay, so when it's dry, we wire. So you see those stacking attack at the edge is applying your wire around it. So that wire keeps it in shape. Okay, so if you don't know how to wire, please leave a comment and then I'll create a video showing you how to wire your wording. Okay, so I'm using the double cover. Because the net is transparent, we'll need a matching material under the net. Now you can use any color of your choice. It depends on what you want to achieve, right? So we use a E6000 or B6000 and apply sparingly all around the fascinator under. Okay, and then you locate the front of the fabric and then start covering the base. Now it's important that you use your clip, okay, to hold it down, because this clip will make sure that the gum stays in place with the fabric. Okay, and then as you're pulling, make sure that there's no rough edges. Every edges is so smooth. You can see I'm trying my best to make sure that is literally very, very smooth. So you just take your time and then begin to stretch and make sure that the fabric is smooth on the fascinator. Okay, that's the fascinator base. Okay, so we've been able to smoothen it. Can you see it's smooth? And then we'll trim the excess out so that we'll have space to cover again with the net. Okay, so we are covering now with our beautiful net. So for now we are sure that the fabric is now glued to the fascinator, so we'll remove all the peg, all the clip that we use to hold it together, and then we're going to apply another gum on the fabric at the back. Okay, put enough gum that should be able to hold the net fabric. Okay, so you stretch and make sure that it's very smooth, and as you're stretching, you are using the peg, okay, to hold it because if you don't, it will get loosened. So when you have done that, you do that all round and make it very smooth. So you can see now we have our covered fascinator. Okay, so we did not use the synamay or the straw to mold this. We actually used the tailor wording to mold our fascinator base. Will you be trying this? Please like, share, okay, and comment on the video so that more people can see it. Thank you all. See you in the next class.